Welcome to the Emporium Outdoors. My name is Michael. In this video we're camping for 2 days in southern Alberta and we're going to do some fly fishing. So we finally got to our camping spot and ready to set up. Today we have Esme and Simon, and we're also camping with Jerry from Backcountry Ranching, who's another YouTuber I've featured on my channel a couple of times before. Because it's me and just the two dogs, I went with the Vista one from Teton, and this is a really quick setup and it's going to give us lots of room inside the tent for all three of us. So today we're going to be running with the Jackery Explorer 500. Had this a couple of years and I use it quite a lot actually. This is my kind of go-to. I do have another one besides, which is double the size, but I find this is good just for a couple of days. And I'm running the Alpicool cooler here, 12 volts, which is plugged into my Jeep at the moment. It's kind of a bigger cooler. I picked it up from Princess Auto, probably last year I think it was. It's been a really good cooler. So we're at 100% right now. However, I do also have the solar panel to go with the Jackery. So I'm going to set this up and then we should have enough power to keep us going regardless of what we need to do. So it looks like the solar panel is actually putting out 63 watts at the moment. And we are powering the fridge. Looks like it's on at the moment, so it's about 55 watts. So having more coming in than going out, which is excellent, especially for a smaller power supply. Well, that's the final piece of the setup. If the weather does change, you can quickly throw the top on the Teton Vista one. Esme's already found a cool spot underneath, and Simon just around the back. Jerry's camping just on a upper ledge, and he's got his little bear burrito. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. For the moment, I think I'm just going to enjoy the sunshine. I love the practicality and simplicity of this grill. It was a kind gift from a subscriber a couple of years ago and I treasure it. So this is what Joey was sleeping in, which he affectionately refers to as the bear burrito. I don't know too much about swags, but this one looked particularly well made. It was a heavy canvas and it was large enough for 2 people. And Joey seems to enjoy it very much, so I may look into one of these. So for the remainder of the afternoon, Joey and I sat around and caught up on a few things. We were certainly glad of the fire once the evening started to grow colder, which it tends to do up in the mountains. Then it was off to bed in the Teton with the 2 dogs. Well, another great night in the Teton. Just fed the dogs, and I think I'll watch the sun come up for a little longer. So I picked this up yesterday from Cabela's. This is the Halfgen base camp system in Jetboil, and this is going to be my overland camping setup. See? So as you can see, it comes in a nice little bag. Regulator. Plastic thing. Really. It's the frying pan that comes with it. It's a non-stick surface, so that'll be useful. And paper. This is the stove itself. So the strap system stays attached. There's the sparker for the ignition. Also the regulator valve for the gas. And there's a fuel input port and a JetLink output port. So you can connect another stove to this and make it more. So if you want to expand this in the future, it's pretty easy. It also has this little cover. This is a wind guard. I'll leave that today. So this is the fuel regulator. So this takes just a standard bottle. It's a £1 bottle, I believe. That's it. Pretty straightforward. All set to cook breakfast. So I think we'll start with some Tim's coffee. My little kettle. So there we go. Next on the menu was a fried breakfast for Jerry and I. The pan was big enough for both meals to be cooked at the same time. I did have to move things around a little bit for the fried bread, but apart from that, I'd say this set was good enough for 2 people at least. So that was the first cook with the Jetboil stove and the frying pan. So what are my thoughts? Actually works really well, it's very convenient. Found it very fast to react to the burner, very controllable. Lots of adjustment on the knob, and the igniter is actually really nice. The pan could be a little bit better. I did get some egg that kind of stuck to it. It is a non-stick pan, but we'll see how this holds up over time. It's pretty easy to swap this out. I'd probably prefer to have a small cast iron pot. Sounds counterproductive. But I find cast iron is actually much easier to work with in the bush. Whatever you've got stuck to it, put some water in, boil it up, and it'll come right off. And you just wipe it out, throw the remainder in the fire, keeps everything clean. But we'll see how it goes. I do like how compact it is, and hopefully it's going to be good on fuel. But I'll keep you updated in future videos. So I forgot to bring a spatula with me for the frying pan, so I thought I'd just take some of this wood and quickly just fashion one that I could use for the next morning. It's kind of getting there. It's going to be my egg tosser for tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to work on this with the knife now, and see how it looks in a few minutes. So it's my little egg flipper for tomorrow morning. So I'm working the pan. Still needs thinning out in places and a couple of lumps and bumps. But that'll be a nice project for this evening, just to make that more symmetrical. That'll give me something to do later on. So if you forget anything out in the bush, you can always make things like implements and spoons and whatnot. Just takes a little bit of time and practice. So you know, we're camping with Jerry, another YouTuber, and he's just getting into bushcraft, so I thought I'd get him a few starter tools. So I picked up the Moira HD, Companion HD. My opinion, this is the starting point if you want to buy a knife. This knife will teach you everything you like about a certain knife, everything that you don't like. So I would spend the $30 or $25 on something like this before you go out and spend $200 or $300 on a knife, and you'll figure out which part of knives that you like and dislike. So I think that's a perfect knife. Still one of my favorite all-time knives. I also put together a small kit for fire starting. So have just some cordage, so if you want to actually create a bow drill, little candle, very important, little hook thing. This is a straw that you can use to blow through to start fires off. There's a book of matches just underneath there. It's waterproof. There is also a plastic bag for carrying water if you need to, and we've also got a fire stick, and I've wrapped it with duct tape, so you can actually peel the duct tape off for plasters, or it's actually very good tinder as well. So the only thing missing is I would put a lighter in there, which I don't have with me, but I'll tell Jerry just to put that in there, and then he can just keep that in his kit, and he can use it to start firing any weather, anywhere. So nice little starter kit for someone that's getting into bushcraft. So under the close scrutiny of the dogs, I did a bit of fly fishing in the river. I'm not an overly experienced fly fisherman when it comes to fast flowing rivers. I'm more of a still water fisherman, or maybe a slow moving river. It's something that I do need to learn more about and to practice, and I really didn't have the right flies for this sort of scenario. So what I'm basically saying is I'm making lots of excuses on why I didn't catch a fish. I think my plan for when I return to fish here is to bring some streamers with me, and to fish more like I would for salmon perhaps. I was told by some other fishermen that the trout will go for anything that really is sparkly and attractive, and the best way is just to drag it across their faces. So we'll see if that strategy works in the future in these fast flowing streams. My last outing with the fishing rod, I decided to fish a couple of these eddies that were just where the two rivers converged. It looked like a pretty likely spot, so I tried to drop in some heavy wet flies and to pull them through there and see if I could get anything out. Unfortunately, I wasn't successful this time, but Jerry's friend came along and did pull out a couple of trout from that very same area later on in the day. I guess he had better luck or better flies, or both. So this stretch of the Old Man River and the Livingstone River are both catch and release, so any trout that you pull out you have to put back in anyway. But it was great to get back into fly fishing again. It's been a few years since I've river fished, so it's very enjoyable to have the old fly rod out. The jackery did a fantastic job, and I think this was probably the lowest that I had it down to, which is kind of at the upper end of 80%, and the solar panels did a great job of just keeping it topped up, and the cooler wasn't drawing too much power. So very happy. I could probably stay indefinitely out in the bush with the solar panels, some sun, and my cooler, as well as some beer and food to put inside, of course. After a wonderful day of fly fishing and spending time with the dogs and Jerry, it was time for bed and an early start the next day.
Well, good morning. It's day 2, and we had a very peaceful night. Listened to the river. Simon's still in bed and Esme's already got up. She's out and about. So this morning we're going to pack up pretty early and hit the road. It's a long drive back to Medicine Hat. We had a wonderful visit with Jerry, and his friend Aubrey came along last night. So yeah, Teton Vista 1 worked out perfectly. Very comfortable. It's like sleeping in your bed at home. It is to me anyway. It's also a really quick takedown as well, so I'll be packed up in no time at all. Wish I had more time to spend here actually. It's a beautiful spot. Anyway, I think it's time for some coffee.
Well, that's the end of our little adventure with Simon, Esme and I. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave us a comment. And if you really liked the video and you want to see more of the same type of content, then please subscribe. And until next time, take care. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, leave me a comment, maybe a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.